It's a great day to talk hockey with Grant McCagg on HabsCast.
Welcome in, everyone. Oh, my goodness. A great day to talk hockey when it's the Habs-Bruins. Especially a great day. Anyone over the age of 50 that's a Habs fan knows what I'm talking about. I don't know. I mean, Leafs and the Sens are kind of thought of as the biggest rivals for Montreal now, but for anyone that grew up in the 70s, early 80s, that saw those great Bruins Habs playoff matchups, seemed like they played against each other every year. There's a genuine hatred and respect. Oh, hatred's the right word, but animosity, but respect for the Bruins. Mind you, there's a lot of Bruins fans out there that got to feel hatred because it just envy, I guess, too, because Montreal beat the Bruins every single time. It seemed like there was only a couple of times that they got the better of them, but there was about a 20-year stretch there where 15 to 20 years that the Canadians, it might have been 20 years, beat them every time until they finally got one. It's funny, I talked to Larry Robinson about it, and he said, he recalled that the Bruins had never beaten them, but I'd done some research. I said, well, actually, Larry, there was one time. He goes, oh yeah, which I mean, you when you do it repeatedly, it's hard to. Oh yeah, I said try to forget those moments. He said, but it was I don't know, Steve Casper and that group of Bruins, but certainly during the Don Cherry era and Harry Sinden, Habs always got the better of them, and they came awfully close that year when Lafleur had to score that tying goal. I thought the cup run was all over there. It was looking pretty slim, looking pretty grim. They were checking the Habs into the ground that night and into the ice, and then Guy got that drop pass from Jacques Lemaire, and it was all over. But we got word there earlier today that Samuel Montembeault's getting the start in nets tonight. I don't know. I was more disappointed than I was surprised by that, because as I mentioned, if anybody was listening earlier in the week when Fowler got sent down, I said the plan here is Monty, like 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 4 starts to Dobie, just like it was last year, right? They want Monty to be the starter, and hey, that's the way they're gonna approach it. Even though the club's winning games at what's the percentage here? I looked it up. Well, Monty has a .526 win percentage on a team with a .618 win percentage. His save percentage is .871. And he sits 79th among all goalies in saves above expected at -7.3. So ideally, that's not your 67 to 66 to 75% of the time starter, right? Somebody with those numbers, but the Habs are bound sink or swim with Monty. I guess that's the mantra. The Monty mantra. Well, we'll see. I don't know. I think that they needed to come back with Dobie. Dobie has shown in the last 2 years, when he does get a few starts, when he is playing regularly, that he plays well. And his winning percentage is over 70%. So even if it doesn't always look pretty, he wins. As usual, we'll see Monty on the first two shots. If he lets in the first shot, Habs lose. He doesn't. If he saves like the first five, who knows? Maybe they can pull one up in Boston. Boston's kind of been Jekyll and Hyde. They have really good games, then they got crappy games. They were on a losing streak, then they went on a winning streak. Now lost again recently. Seems like some of their games too, they aren't real close. Usually with Montreal, it's close. Usually with these two teams, it's a close battle. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But the other change is Texier back in and back on the first line. Also don't agree with that one, but anyway, I would have Doc there, but I do see some reasoning in it in that Kirby Doc this way they ease him back in a little more, right? He's not playing against other teams' top lines, so I sort of get it in that regard that I mean, he looked okay, but he certainly wasn't, by any means sharp in his first two games. So, I mean, I'll bring up there's Ivan. There's the lineup for tonight. And you can see there, Texier on the top line, Slav back with Kapanen and Demidov, Anderson, Deneau, Galley. That seems to be a line that Marty's kind of looking to keep together. Now, Bolduc, Evans, Doc. Obviously, that hopefully, the Habs are looking to maybe get a bit of a mismatch there. I mean, that has the potential to be a pretty damn good fourth line if they can, Bolduc certainly deserved to be playing to be promoted. In fact, if they were going to put someone other than Doc on the first, I might have put Bolduc back after his last game because I thought he had perhaps his best game of the year, certainly the best game since the first week in the season. But what I do think you'll see with those lines is that the fourth line will get a lot of ice time. It won't be like Veleno Blade type ice time, right? You'll see Doc, and I think you'll see Doc and Bolduc get more ice time than what the fourth liners typically have been getting in Montreal. I think they'll just roll the four lines pretty much at even strength because that's that has the makings of being a mismatch against Boston's fourth line. I think I'm not sure what the fourth line is, but I don't think have more potential than Doc, Bolduc, Evans. Okay, let's get back here. Have a look at the and here we have the defense pairings. I got Matheson, Dobson, Gooley, Hudson. I expected that to, we kind of saw some of that last game, and I sort of figured that they'd eventually be putting those two together. And then Jacky Carrier as the third pairing. What we'll see is Hudson will play with Carrier some, kind of get double shifted in Jackie's spot. And Gooley will probably get about 18 minutes, Carrier around 20. The big three will all get 22 plus, and Jackie will get somewhere around a dozen. I would suspect that'll, unless he gets into a scrap or two, then who knows. But that's that to me is what I've been expecting. I think you'll see quite a bit of those three pairings for a while here until there's a change. Interesting comments by Kent Hughes went talking to Arpin and got out of there saying that he wants Rybacher to be overripe, and that some defensemen in the past maybe got rushed a little bit, but they can afford now. They have the luxury of letting Bacher get overripe. And I just wonder, has he looked at Montreal's goals against, like being 28th in the league? Like he said that he wants to be in the playoffs and do better than last year. Well, if they're 28th place still at the end of the year, guess what? They're not going to be in the playoffs. So I don't think there's a luxury really here. I think there's a need for Rybacher in the lineup. I don't like Laine being back on the right side. I don't like it. I mean, you have the possibility of having 3 right defensemen if you call up Rybacher, and you take out Jack-Eye, you've got 3 left defensemen, 3 right defensemen. That to me is the I think that lineup has to be looked at in the regular season here, because that to me is the playoff lineup, right? You're going to need Rybacher in there. I believe they need another 6'3" defenseman in that group, I believe. And you're certainly not going to just throw Rybacher in for his first action in the NHL in the playoffs. But anyway, that's my opinion. We'll see. We'll see if, by overripe, he means really overripe, because I think he's ready now. I think he's ripe. I think he might even be overripe at this point. So take from that what you will, whatever overripe. Obviously, it's going to be what Hughes thinks is overripe. Mind you, they keep letting in 4 or 5 goals and stuff. All of a sudden, that Rybacher banana is going to, look like it has spots on it. It'll look ripe. Anyway, let's see what happens. Laine still not in. He was first on the ice today with Hudson. Hey, it's tough. It's tough when you look at the lineup now. Veleno is out, and I guess that was to be expected. Blais and Veleno are the extra guys for now. It's hard, but I think obviously Marty likes Veleno quite a bit, but this is a sign, especially putting Texier on the top line and Veleno at a lineup that he, when they are a little healthier at forward, Texier may not be the odd man out. Almost makes you wonder if Laine's even going to get back in there. If is it going to be Bolduc or Gallagher? Well, it's hard to take Gallagher out. He's on the third line. Can't see Doc sitting, but they've got him on the fourth line with Bolduc. I made up a bunch of possible scenarios here with Laine in the lineup as to the lines. And the combinations are almost endless, obviously, when you've got 15 players that can be playing 12 spots. But I came up with some scenarios of him being on A, the top line, B, the second line, C, the third line, D, the fourth. And also one scenario here with him out of the lineup and what it looks like. Well, here's what it looks like with Texier back, I guess. That's right. But I think I have another one there. But so that's without Laine, that's your lineup basically, right? But here it is with Laine. Okay, we got lineup A. On the top line, What if you put him on the top line? Well, this is a potentially the lineup. Caulfield, Suzuki, Laine, Slav, Kapanen, Demidov, Bolduc, Doc, Texier, Anderson, Deneau, Galley, Evans. In this scenario, I guess Evans might sit out, right? Unlikely, but it's possible. And weigh in on your comments here. Which one of these, like I've got A to I or J or something. Just let me know which one might appeal to you. And if none of them do, then suggest your own lineup here. And I'll try to get to a few. Lineup B, Caulfield, Suzuki, Line A. Top two lines the same. Bolduc, Deneau, Doc as their third. And then Anderson, Evans, and Gallagher, Texier. And that in that respect, then you don't have Doc back at center. You've got, and obviously, if Texier keeps going on the top line, they just friggin' re-signed him, even though they didn't have to. They're pretty high on him, I guess. So he's not likely to be the guy out, but on the other hand, how do you take Galley out too? It's anyway. So that's the possibility with Laine on the top line. Now, obviously, they're not, Laine comes back in the lineup. I don't see them just saying, okay, he's on the top line. I mean, he'd have to be doing something, right? And before they went that route. But, I mean, that's what the lineup would look like. It gives you a better, like the positive of it. Well, the negative is Laine, can Laine check top lines? Helps with Suzuki as a center, right? But maybe he can get going. Like he never got to play. He never got to play on the top line last year. So, yeah, he didn't have a lot of 5-on-5 goals, but didn't really get great line mates either. I didn't think. Doc and him weren't really a match. And Newhook's not a playmaker. So if he's playing with Suzuki and Caulfield, who are, top assist guys, along with Demidov, maybe he could provide more 5-on-5 offense. The other positive, if you did have Line A up there, is that the bottom six is pretty strong, right? Like Bolduc, Doc, Texier be a pretty good line, or Bolduc, Deneau, Doc, and then Anderson, Evans, Galley as your, Anderson, Deneau, Galley, Anderson, Deneau, Evans as your fourth line. It, be pretty solid in your bottom six. So I don't expect to see that, but if Laine comes back, he gets a look, and he's he's doing this, then they will consider it.
Hudson vers Suzuki. Avec tout le temps voulu de Suzuki avec la passe. Il reste encore 38 secondes à la pénalité à part. Est-ce qu'il y a encore un doute sur son arme de prix une fois de plus, cette fois-ci par contre?
So by Hudson, Suzuki, Laine, shooter number one, in on Dostal.
Suzuki, broken stick on the ice, and they score! He can't extend his stick and pressure Laine like Patrick Laine. If he gets this much time, look at that shot. Just
Laine steps and shoots and
he's moving around, but this is maybe that would.
You think there's going to be a one-timer right here, but it's not.
Like, lest we forget, right? The man can snipe. Now, if he comes back and he's got his shot back, like if you were to add up all the guys in the bottom six, I don't think they'd have more goals than what Laine averages per season. So he would be instant upgrade on the power play. And you know what? If he does get back in the lineup, hey, especially the first 10 games, he had 10 or 11 goals. I think he had 11 power play goals in his first 10 games back with the Habs. Guess what, folks? He'd be on the top power play. And then you drop Demi down to the second, and you have a lot better second power play. I'd like to see Demidov and Kapanen together on a man advantage, and we haven't really seen it because Demidov's a really good passer. Cappy's got a great one-timer. There's some open space there. That would, Doc Dobson, Demidov, the 3D, and Cappy on the second unit with Texier. I think they'd actually start to score some goals. And Laine with that friggin' rocket of a shot, I mean, Cole's not scoring a pile of power play goals this year from that spot. Laine's still second to Ovechkin, loading up and shooting from that spot on the power play. So I think he's got when you're dealing with an $8.5 million contract here, and a guy who is a career 35 goal scorer over 82 games, who, despite what people keep suggesting, hasn't really slowed down. His last 3 years that he played, if you project over 82 games, he averaged 33 goals. So from 37 his first few years to 33, it's still, he's in the prime. It's not like he's 33 years old or something like that. He can still score goals. So if he's got his shot back, I think it may have been his injury may have been affecting that. And that's why at the end of last year, just didn't quite have the same shot. And then at the start of this year, well, if that's back, they got to give him a look at least, I think. If nothing else, to get that second power play sparked, whether it's him on it or whether he goes up and Demidov comes down to spark the second power play. Again, they've got one goal from the second power play this season, and that just, if they want to make any noise at all in the playoffs, if they make it, that's got to change. It really does. They've been on the ice for more goals against than they've scored the second power play unit, and not just, Galley's got to get off there, and this is the way that he gets off, is if Laine's in the lineup. But we'll keep going with these scenarios here. There aren't a lot of it's tough to say who you take out, right? Here's lineup C and D. Did I look at? Yeah. So this is with him on the second line, okay, and Slap back on the top line. Laine, Kapanen, Demidov. Excuse me. Bolduc, Doc, Texier, Anderson, Deneau, Gallagher is a possibility. And that one would have Evans out of the lineup. Hey, if Laine ever gets going, that's not a bad lineup. He's going to get a chance before Newhook's back, and he's going to have to take advantage of it. But then lineup D, we've got, again, him on the second line. And there's your top six. A lot of a number 2 pick, a number 5 pick, and the first overall pick in your top 6 is nice. Actually, 5 guys all picked top 16. Then Bolduc, Deneau, Doc, Anderson, Evans, Texier. And in that scenario, Gallagher's out. But again, if Laine's going, and ideally Laine, obviously, people say, well, he's not a bottom 6 guy. Well, then you got to have him in your top 6 somewhere, right? But the thing I like about this possibility of a line, Kapanen's good defensively, so he can, he's always backing up the guys anyway. So in that regard, Laine maybe could play with Kapanen. And there's a Finnish connection there too, but Demidov is just a fantastic playmaker. And playing him with Laine, I wouldn't mind seeing that at least for a couple of games down the stretch here at some point, because I think you might see a lot of, Demidov is great at setting up guys, and especially on the left-hand side, him on the right and getting it over, feeding it, that might end up being a productive combination. So again, it's a possibility. C and D has him playing on the second line. Let's get to the E and F, and this is with E is without him in the lineup, so we kind of seen that before. And this is with Doc on the first line. Caulfield, Suzuki, Doc, Slavkat, Demidov, Bolduc, Deneau, Texier, Anderson, Evans, Gallagher. So that's lineup E without line A in it. And then F, we've got Caulfield, Suzuki, Slav, Laine, Kapanen, Demidov, Bolduc, Deneau, Doc, Anderson, Evans, Texier. So that, again, these aren't bad lineups. I mean, they are conducive on Laine playing half decently, right? GH, there's this is with Laine on the third line. Doc on the first line. I didn't put any of these scenarios with Texier on the first line, but anyway, eventually I really would like it to be Doc. But so we got a third unit of Bolduc, Deneau, Laine, and then Evans, Anderson, Gallagher, or Texier on the fourth. And then lineup H, the top six the same as they were the last two games, with Doc on the top unit, Anderson, Deneau, Laine, and then Bolduc, Evans, and either Gallagher or Texier on the fourth. So again, the way they're using Texier right now tells me he's not going to be out of the lineup anytime soon, and probably not even on the fourth, but we'll see. The other two are there's one more with Laine on the third here, and then Bolduc, Deneau, Laine, Anderson, Evans, Gallagher, Texier, and then the J is one with him on the fourth line. Doc again on the top unit, Anderson, Deneau, Gallagher, kind of like the line that's been together right now, or Texier, obviously, and then Bolduc. It'd be Bolduc or Texier with Evans and Laine. Those seem less likely, but there's no. It's really tough. It's really difficult to, Marty has some difficult decisions ahead of him here. Clearly, somebody's going to have to be out. Now, is it going to be the $8.5 million contract? It's tough to sit an expiring UFA with an $8.5 million contract who is a career 35 goal scorer who is in the prime of his career. They're going to have to give him a look. I just can't see him just simply sitting out. So decisions will have to be made. Now, Bolduc keeps playing like he has been, or did last game. It's going to be tough to sit him out, right? Gallagher, he's played better. It's funny, with the big decisions looming, all of a sudden two of the guys that were on the bubble for sitting out are, I got to pick up my game here. So make it even harder for the coaching staff to make a decision. So I don't know. What do you think, folks? Well, quickly, there's INJ. That's with Laine on the third and fourth line. AB, that's Laine on the top unit. The second line staying the same. CD is Laine on the second line with Kapanen and Demidov. E and F, Laine either out of the lineup or still got him on the second line in that scenario. And then him on the third line, G and H. So anyway, give me your thoughts on that, and we'll keep discussing. We're up to 72 comments. There's Mark. Hello, everyone. I needed a day off there. Apologies for my mood the other night. I was just a little exhausted. I've been putting in about, I don't know, about 40 hours of podcasting in straight, every day for a week there, and kind of caught up with me. So needed a day to recharge the batteries, and I'm ready to roll here and have a good two podcasts, a pregame and a postgame tonight. So thanks everybody for jumping on. We have 112 here, half hour in. That's, yeah, I'm a little more positive about that too. The numbers the other night weren't real good and was a little discouraged, but all good. And I'm glad to see people back in good numbers here today. He doesn't fit in the Habs culture unless he can step up his speed and 200-foot play. Yeah, well, yeah, his average speed start the year 20.7 miles per hour, and that's definitely, lower in the below average. Now, when he 2 or 3 years ago, he was skating at 22 miles per hour. And then before his injuries and time off, I think he need to get back in better shape. Hopefully he's got a little bit of speed back here. And I didn't mind actually his effort away from the puck. I didn't find his defense that bad. Last year, his goals per 60 against were 3.10. And considering what he brings offensively, so that's basically a 310 goals against average. And the team's goals against average is right around 3. So basically he hurt you for 1 extra goal every 10 games or something defensively, which is, considering what he brings to the power play, it is minuscule, really. So I think that it's overblowing how much his defensive play hurts the team. And but we'll see. We'll see as the as time goes along here, and we'll see if he gets in and how he does. Mark, good afternoon, Grant, and everyone else. Good day, Mark. You'll notice I finally figured out how to get logos on there. There's the Logs End logo. I finally actually. Chat GPT kind of finally got me through the steps of what I had to do. You had to use Canva and do transparent and put it in the. Anyway, I finally got it all figured out, and I've got the Logs End sponsorship on permanently. And the plan is hopefully to have that whole bottom row filled up here as we go along. We're working on another one, might have another sponsor. I'm excited about that. We'll get that hopefully clarified this week. And hey, anybody that might want to sponsor the show, send them my way. I'm certainly looking for someone to sponsor our Habs Prospect of the Week and Draft Prospect of the Week at a pretty low cost. So, anyone that might be interested in sponsoring that, let me know, and we'll see if we can't start getting a couple more sponsors here. Keep me from being grouchy. All right. Habs need to replace Stubble with a big guy type defenseman. Yeah. Well, that guy's name is Rybacher, I think. Funny you should mention that, because all the rumors have been concerning Montreal, maybe. Well, I've seen some trade rumors recently, and it's the one that caught my eye, and this was somebody making a proposal. Excuse me. And it was Parayko and Robert Thomas to Montreal. And this is perceived to be just this will solve any issues, right? For Caden Gooley, Alex Jarosky, Michael Hage, and a first-round pick. Let me know what you think of that potential deal, folks. I think you probably know what my answer to that would be. F no. F no. No effing way. Thomas is on a 8-year. He signed for 5 more years, $8.1 million cap hit. He'll turn 31 when his contract expires. Parayko signed for 4 more years at a cap hit of 6.5. He'll be 37 when his contract expires. Gooley signed for 5 more years at a $5.5 million cap hit. So, first of all, you're exchanging $9.1 million difference in cap hit, and obviously this doesn't work, right? Canadians don't have $9.5 million in cap space. They don't have any right now. So obviously this would, they'd have to get rid of the Laine contract ahead of time. Maybe another deal, like get rid of Struble or something, for this to even get them back under the cap. Would St. Louis do it? Maybe, because that's a hell of a package for those two guys. There is some suggestion that, hey, Thomas might be available, but the price would have to be, something where Armstrong couldn't say no. He probably couldn't say no to that deal, but Kent would have to be pretty drunk, I think, and maybe have 2 guns to his head for him to make that kind of an offer. I can't see. Maybe he could be convinced to trade one of Hage or Jarosky, but both, and then a first-round pick and Gooley on top of that. I mean, I think in a couple of years, Gooley has a damn good chance of being better than Parayko alone. So the last 3 years of that, you got a better Gooley at a cheaper price, or a declining Parayko at a higher price. And then who's to say Thomas doesn't start to decline his last couple of years? Years 3, 4, 5, is he even better than Hage and Jarosky? Maybe, but maybe not by much. So, and then you throw in a first-round pick on top of that. That just when like I said, a lot of these deals, potential deals that they could make, won't hurt the future. Like they won't be mortgaging the future. Well, in that kind of a deal, they would be mortgaging the future because Zerowski and Hage both have top 6 potential. Gooley, top four defenseman potential. And then the first round pick, who knows? But right, they always have top 9 potential for sure. So I think that there's a overrating of Colton Parayko to a certain degree. I think Rybacher's in 2 years' time will be better than Colton Parayko. So maybe today he's not. But why would you make a trade for only today when really your window is going to be completely open in a couple of years' time? Now it's slightly open. 2 years' time, completely open. You could have Hage in your top 9. He might be on the top line. You could have Rybacher in your top 4. Gooley certainly could have in your top 4. Definitely playing 18-plus minutes a night. You know, those 3 alone might be helping you more in 2 years' time than Parayko and Thomas. And not to mention that, you know, the Canadians already have a rookie center who is leading all rookies in goal scoring, is playing on a second line that's playing really well. Is there an absolute need for an upgrade to Thomas at that price? It doesn't. It doesn't make sense to me, and I think most people would agree that that's just that's much too costly for the Canadians. Now, Parayko, you know, one of those by himself. Parayko for Gooley in the first or something. Again, I'm not the hugest Parayko fan. He's good, but he's on the decline. I don't think he skates better than Gooley. He's a little bigger, a little more experience. Won a cup, obviously, but you know, people sometimes want to get rid of players because they have been injured, and that means they might get injured. I don't think that's the way you can approach players in deals. You know, I'm a big law of averages guy that says Gooley, you know, by law of averages won't be injured a lot now over the next 2 or 3 years. So what if you traded Gooley for Parayko and Parayko got injured the next 2 years and Gooley didn't? Then it looks silly, right? You don't know. That could be what happens. So no, and then Thomas, again, it has to be, by all accounts, I don't think Armstrong wants to trade Thomas. So you'd have to floor him with a deal. It'd have to be like Hage, I don't know, if it's Hage, Gooley in a first or something like that. You know, I say no. I'm not interested in that. And I think most Hab fans on here would echo that. Let me know what you think on here, folks. And let's get to some comments. Like Darnay, a big body like his. You talking about David Darnay? Spending summers in Boston in the 70s was a lot of fun. If you were a Habs fan, yeah, I guess. Did you see the Bruins out on the golf course much? Monty's going back to his old ways. He's playing way too deep in his net. Yeah, I know. I'd do a Struble for Luke Shen. Yeah, maybe something along those lines, eh? Yeah. Good room guy was great with Quinn Hughes. Yeah, I don't mind him, but JTL thinks it's just dumb to have Hudson on the right side. No, I guess the Habs coaches are dumb. Thank you, Jay. They keep sitting Dobie too long between games. I agree. Enough holding Monty's hand already. Dobie may win high-scoring games, but he wins them. Yeah, it makes those one or two big saves when they're needed. Yeah. Monty seems to make the one or two big saves when the club's already behind, right? Dobie makes those one or two big saves when the club's tied or ahead. And that's the difference, right? Oh, but Monty made a couple big saves to keep me. Yeah, well, if he'd made the saves so that they weren't behind earlier. Anyway. Why not Hudson on the left side with Carrier on the right? Well, they have done that. He's played. That pairing has been together quite a bit, but the thing is, I think Gooley's a better defenseman than Carrier. Like in the fact that I think they need a bigger body with Hudson, ideally, and Gooley has looked better and better, I think, and at the end of the day, do you want a 5'11" guy that just gets run over like a bulldozer, like Carrier paired with Hudson? Ideally, it's either Gooley or it's Rybacher. But also, I mean, Hudson, he's looked very good on the right, or on the left, obviously. But he really looked good. He really looked good on the right too. So it's not like he's bad on the right side, Yeah, well, I don't like to speculate too much on read between the lines on what you got to say something, and he was talking about Rybacher. I don't think he's saying that there's still flaws to be worked on. That's not what he was saying. You can speculate that, but that's not what he was saying. Hudson is the best lefty that can play on the right side. Yes, exactly. I would actually prefer Arbor Hudson for stretches, especially against big teams. Air Sheldon. Hudson has to play on his left side to get the best out of him. Yeah, well, we'll see. He hasn't been playing with Gooley too much. Let's give it a shot and see. Because ultimately, that's a pretty good tandem. Caulfield, Hudson, Gallagher, Carrier need to move two of those to get anywhere in the playoff. Thank you, Stephen. Dovish was barely playing last year, and he was fine in the later part of the season when he was playing. That's okay for a backup goalie, I think. What will it take for Laine to enter the lineup? Well, take him being healthy. Why the heck is Marty going with Monty again? The only think they feel a missed playoffs year will be a teachable lesson for the young team. You don't think they're doing it because they want to miss the playoffs? That I don't think is the thought process here. I think Laine has played his last game with the Canadiens. If the organization is looking to move him, why take the risk of an injury? Oh, well, they're not going to get a lot for him, A. B, you're not going to sit him for a month and a half with that salary. 35 goal scorer. Best power play guy they got. Risk injuring him? Like, they're not getting much anyways. So the reason to play him, if you're looking to trade him, is to showcase him. You're not, No, it doesn't. The worst thing for his asset value would be to sit him healthy scratch for a month and a half. That's not how Hughes likes to make the best of his assets, and that wouldn't be doing that at all. Doc has to play to get his timing and game shape back. Yeah. Well, he's playing. Monty's not the clear number one right now, but they keep rolling him out as if he was. 2 years in a row, they overplay Monty at the cost of Dobish. Montembeault was third in goals, saves above expected in the entire league last year. So I don't know that you can make the argument, VDAC, that last year that they overplayed Monty necessarily. I think Laine could help, especially on power play too. Yeah. Stamkos scores again. 21 in his last 26, folks. I told you. I hate to be a told-so, but I told so, as Ricky would say. I personally think the Laine and Struble have played their last games with the Habs. Evans isn't sitting out with that new contract. Okay, so Laine's sitting out with a new contract. If you're not living up to that new contract, you're going to sit out every now and then. Look, they picked up Cappy's not going out. He's ahead of him in the pecking order. Deneau's, they picked up Deneau. Times have changed since they made that new contract. I mean, if he's going to sit, he's making $2.85 million. So, you can't sit out the new contract, but you can sit out the $8.5 million contract in Laine. I don't quite get the logic on that. I know what you're saying, but I like both lineup proposals, Grant. Obviously, there's no guarantee at Laine, but quite curious about seeing this. Well, he's never played on the top line. Now is not the time. Yeah, well, why? Because they have an answer on the top line? What now? There's no better time than now, Sheldon. They've got a hole on the top line. And Laine's never played on the top line. Well, that's my point exactly. Career 35 goal scorer, and he's never tried him on the top line. There's a hole. There's a gaping hole on the top line. I'm not saying they've got to do it, but it's got to be at least considered as an option. If ever there's a time, it's now, Sheldon. I think, if Laine can show he's capable of fire checking, it could work. Yeah. Not sure what fire checking is, but floor checking. Okay. I think if you'd have made it one word, I would have got it. Like, is he like a Boy Scout or you go check the fire or Laine? Unless they fix the goals against, we will always struggle. Yeah, well, yeah. Laine's not a fit on the first line. Probably not, but not physical enough. Texier is? Bolduc didn't work there because he wasn't bringing that element. Well, I don't know. I can see 92 back with Evans and a Bolduc or Tex. I don't know. There is a hole on that first line, so it certainly, if they don't think Doc is the answer, hey, Laine's not the perfect answer either, but he makes more sense on the first line than the fourth, as far as I'm concerned. You're just wasting him playing with Evans and friggin' Anderson like they did start of the year. It's like you might as well not have him in the lineup at all. It's either out of the lineup or playing with at least somebody that can get him the friggin' puck. It doesn't you're just, as far as I'm concerned, you're wasting them. Makes more sense on the first line than on the fourth line, in my opinion. But he wasn't getting those same looks at the start of the season. No, I know, because he was playing with Evans and Gallagher, who are not primo playmakers. That's for damn sure. Laine has the team's best shot. Yeah.
Right back to the Montreal captain. Now it's Hudson.
And he just sets up, and they look for him. That's a...
Right up and off balance. The Islanders couldn't get it out. And there's an open net.
Tippett, Laine, bang on it, got it back, hitting shot goes wide.
Suzuki à Laine. Voilà le tir!
Du Kraken, c'est très bien ce qui s'en vient, mais c'est un tir élite de cet endroit. Pour Patrick.
Suzuki won the draw. Ripping Hudson over to Laine, score! Draw clean. Hudson could have walked right in and ripped this thing. And...
Oh, man. I don't know. I don't want that shot on the fourth line. Maybe it's just me, though. Struvel's not the answer. Skating is not up to NHL standards. Oh, problem with Laine is he's been injured the whole time, so we don't know if he's bought into the ML system. Could be a beast if he does. Cole doesn't even attempt to shoot from his office. No, I know. I don't understand all the doom and gloom when it comes to Laine. If he does play soon, depending on which line they use him on, I think he'll surprise. Well, if he can come in and do what he did to start of last year, boy. Habs don't make the playoffs without Laine last year. They don't. They went from being at the bottom of the standings to going being one of the best teams in the league. So yeah, I don't agree with that he can't be useful 5-on-5. It's become the narrative, and it's just, again, 3.10 goals against last year. That's it basically what the Canadians average goals against. So this narrative that he just kills the team 5-on-5 is completely false, actually. Got to give Laine a chance on the first line. He never got a chance to play with first liners, always third and fourth. Yeah. And Linton Samuel Donson, trade Kapanen. Yeah, that's a brilliant post. Thank you very much. I think that Demi with Laine could be magic if he skates like he's looked in practice. Does he look good in practice? Montreal also doesn't need more goals. Yeah, no, you never want more goals. You know, last game when they were down, didn't need goals. They needed more hot dogs, I guess, right? Which Habs have the fastest top speed this year? Which lineup looks decent to you, Ken? Laine's defense isn't the worst in the league, guaranteed. Well, last year, 3.10 goals against per 60. This year, Evans, 4.98 goals against per 60. But got to have those 5 goals in the lineup. He can't sit out with his new contract at a third of the price of Laine's. I would prefer Blais to dock tonight. Okay. Keep Laine away from Demidov. We don't need any floaters. I don't think Laine is as bad as an influence as people make him out to be. He seemed generally happy to play Montreal, but he hasn't been healthy. Yeah. Galley has been more scratched a chance at Laine's in. Yeah. Top speed Habs. Well, Newhook's up there somewhere. Anderson, Slav, Newhook, Veleno, Doc. Doc, eh? There you go, folks. Hickory Dickory Doc. Anderson, Slav. So you're saying that the top, Doc's had the fastest then? Okay. Doesn't surprise me about Slav. And that used to make me laugh. People say, "Oh, he's not a very good skater." 6'3" guy, 18, 19 years old. His skating was only just going to keep coming. He's a very good skater now. Veleno is one of the fastest. And interesting that Veleno out, but it's a sign of things to come, I believe. Grant, what you're showing are viable options. Grant, MSL has shown over the past bunch of games that he's starting to be more comfortable with himself and mixing things up. Trade is coming. We'll see. Yeah. Yeah, Laine gets along good with the guys. Some people forget that he spent a good portion of the summer in Montreal. No, he seems to be fitting in okay in that regard. Yeah. Problem I have with Laine is I don't think he can play 5-on-5. Well, again, look. People are really overstating this. He can't play 5-on-5. I will once again cite the fact that his goals against per 60 is 3.10. Like, there's this misconception that he's just horrible defensively 5-on-5, and it's not true. It's not true. I got to disagree. Sorry, guys. State it once, and that's fine. We'll agree to disagree on that if it's okay. No way Galley or Evans is getting scratched. Oh, yeah. No. They're playing so fantastic. Arbor has an impactful game, keeping to his strengths. I believe Struble will be sitting longer or gone. Yep, he's not elite, and there's no reason not to showcase Struble. Yep. No, he hasn't been injured the whole time. About half the time. Laine was as bad as some were making out. He would have been out of the league by now. Well, I know. Reading these, he can't even, doesn't even cross the opponent's blue line. Anyway, I'll just skip over the 500 redundant messages if you don't mind. Top speed. Okay, what do you mean top speed? I thought you already did top speed, Francois. This is confusing. I don't get it. Didn't you already do top speed? Now you're doing top speed again? Anyway. Do these guys get high before they write that stuff? Yeah, man. Well, there's that too. Add 2 roster players, $9 million in salary. Get rid of 1. Yeah. Oh, yeah, this deal's happening for sure. Thomas for Laine. Armstrong's doing that all day. Galley isn't done. No, That deal gives a lot of potential away to the Blues. You think? Absolutely. Monty, not Price, but he's an okay goalie. He'll have a decent game because we're winning this one. All right, Ed. I like your attitude, my friend. Habs are winning. Watch Hudson bounce back with an awesome game. Go Habs, go. If one of us suggested that sort of nonsense trade first on your HabsCast, you'd have tore us a new one. Yeah, I know, eh? Yeah, I'd get worked up. Laine, Struble, Engstrom, and a first for Thomas. Why would Armstrong have any interest in that whatsoever? Thomas would cost a package similar to Hughes because he's locked for 5 years. Future top player, first pick, good roster player, and another third liner. Right. And I would pass. If you want top talent, you have to give top prospects. Yeah. And the Canadians have lots of top talent. So why would they have to do that? They're going to be fantastic in 5 years if they keep Zurowski and Hage and Goulet in the first. So it doesn't make sense. Matheson can't be traded. Well, no. Imagine he's got an NTC, NMC. Laine will get a look. Who'd take him without seeing him on the ice again? Yeah. Maybe the only way Laine we've seen so far is the injured one. Either way, he gets moved. Probably. No, your window's open now, Surf. It's just not completely open. Garbage, I wouldn't do it. Yeah, well, we'll agree. We'll agree on that one. Yeah. No, I agree. Limited, yeah. Matheson's not going anywhere, folks. So why bring up guys that aren't going anywhere? They just signed him to 5 years. You know, people talk of, Hughes or Evans' new contract. Friggin' Matheson's is even newer. In fact, it hasn't even started yet. What, they trade him? You don't sign a hometown boy to a 5-year extension and then turn around and trade him. You know Kent Hughes, right? He absolutely loves him. The team loves him. Friggin' plays 24 minutes a game. Yeah, trade him. Ain't happening, folks. It's turned into a Matheson chat here. I would trade Cage Instrument a first for Thompson. For Thomas. Ah. Well, I don't know. Ghoulies. Maybe 3 months ago I consider that, but what I've seen from Hage, I'm a lot more comfortable with him than I was before. And I also think that Kapanen is a pretty solid sec. I like that second line, and I don't think it needs to be. It needs to be altered with at this point. Would Thomas bring a little more offense? Sure. But I like the chemistry. So is it worth altering that chemistry for maybe a few more points, not necessarily fewer goals against, at the expense of also a first, Page and Engstrom? I don't think so. Gully, when healthy, is more of a top pair guy than Matheson. You're on fire today, VDAC. You certainly have lots of opinions, my friend. Page bought himself quite a bit of loyalty and security with his performance in the WJC. I agree. Monty is a backup, and Dolbish is a rookie. Mm-hmm. Hudson can play both sides better than most. He's also a terrific backup goalie. That's a good point. No need to showcase Laine. The team would acquire him, know exactly what they're getting. Okay. Listen, if you sit him on the bench, sit him in the stands for the next 2 months, they don't know what they're getting. He hasn't played. They don't know how he'll look. Team's going to have to see how he looks on the ice now. He hasn't been on the ice for 5 months. They have no idea what they're getting unless he plays. None. I don't see them trading Jurowski. No. Do you think the Habs need a bruising right side defenseman for the playoffs? Rybacher. The Habs need to trade Carrier. Can't keep 2 under 6 defensemen. Harbor needs more ice time. And this is from Bill Guavin, 9250. Thanks, Bill Guavin. How we're trading Rocket Richard reincarnated. Yeah. Grant, I meant not right away. I would give him a few games before trying him. That's fair. That's fair, Sheldon. Not sure who Grant would like, but I like Luke Shen. Yeah. Good room guy. Yep. Well, there's Ellen. I was 15 years old when the Habs won the Cup. I know all about the big bad Bruins rivalry. There you go. Yeah. Oh, you're just a young'un then, Ellen. Or in 78. You don't look that old. If you are going to play line A 5-on-5, I have to say move slot back to the first line. Put him with Cap and Demi. Demi can get anyone the puck. Well, Rybacher scored a shorthanded goal. Overripe, folks. He's overripe. Call him up. Somebody send Hughes a memo. Your boy's overripe. Good for him. It's funny now, people will be, oh, well, he scored a shorthanded goal, so he's it's good enough now. Machar scored his 5th. Not a bust after all. Right on, Bacher. Assist to Condata and Beck. Yeah. Struble and Carrier, and the second for Parayko. And why would Armstrong do that? Call up Capo Kakkonen for a few games. He's winning games, Laval. Yeah, he might. it's a possibility, Alan, that he gets called up. I wouldn't discount that. We need a Craig Ludwig. Yes. Ludwig. Come on down. Buffalo up 3-0. Absolutely need a win tonight. Yeah. Can't be behind them even for a game. Slav is a very explosive skater. Yes, he is. Gooley, one of the fastest. Oh, Gooley can move. Hey, man. There's our Philadelphia fan, GLG. You're stuck at the hospital all weekend? They're calling for 10 to 15 inches of snow in Philly. Stay safe and enjoy the hockey. Oh, okay. You work as a nurse, not a patient. I should have clarified. Okay, good. Thanks, man. We're going to get, it's minus 30 something. My car wouldn't start this morning. I got the battery charger on it. Then tomorrow it's, we're going to get the 10 to 15 centimeters. Claude Lemieux is the kind of player we need come springtime. Yeah. According to Laine, he's on the strong side tonight with Gooley. Well, there you go. Where do you think Newhook fits in when the roster's healthy? Well, that's the other thing, right? That's why I think, one of the reasons why they're going to give Laine a look before Newhook, or he may never get into, Then who did two guys that you take out, right? You look at this, for instance. If you put Doc up on the top line, Laine out, do you even consider Newhook, Doc, Bolduc as a line? But it's probably more like, yeah. You know what? It's just so friggin' discombobulated right now. I really don't know. There's like 100 different scenarios. Oh, Brian's in the house, and he's sending me some money. All right. Thank you very much for the toonie, Brian. Is that $2 American? I appreciate it. Thank you. I never thought of that. Like when somebody from the States sends $2, is it American or is it Canadian? The second post are the top speeds of Habs following the top 5. Okay. Oh, no, I've noticed that before. Like Galley's speed is not, it's after 20 seconds on a shift, right? Doesn't have much left. I think Slav's improvement is due to his playing on the left, his strong side. I'd like to see him on Nick's left, but Cole on right. Yeah, I think it has something to do with the guys he's playing with too, honestly. He's even talked about it. He's a senior citizen on that line, and he's taking a bigger role. And you know what? I don't mess with Slav playing with Cappy and Demi. We're seeing the emergence of a superstar here. I wouldn't toy with that. I really wouldn't. I'd like to see the Habs do a small but impactful trade. Yeah, something like McCarron wouldn't be bad. Well, take Brian to come on here, sends money and tells everyone hit the subscribe and like buttons, folks. Need more Brians. Can we clone Brian 10 times? Thanks, Brian. Good thing today's game isn't outdoors. Yeah, I know. It's freaking nippy out there, folks. Tyler, Liverpool. I don't understand the hate line he gets. He's well liked by his teammates, never been fully healthy. Yeah. Vidak, I'm the host. I'm supposed to have opinions. But you just run through there. You'll notice that 90% of the writing at points is you. It's okay to have opinions, but repeat them and, state your opinion. That's fine. I just noticed that very opinionated. That wasn't necessarily a shot at, I'm not saying don't be opinionated, just today you're very opinionated. Engstrom is doing very well. Looks like a point per game pace. Yeah. Good trade value there. Engstrom and Struble, are, I think, the key trade possibilities right now. I don't know that they're looking to deal a lot more than that. I would be surprised if they dangle Pickford or Hage or Zurowski. Obviously, unless they're trying to land a big fish of some sort, but I don't think they're going to do that right yet. I don't know that they feel that they, they're quite ready to go all the way. Yes, Detroit in their heyday, back when they were firemen, kept prospects in the AHL for 2 years minimum. But the Habs are not yet Detroit, right? That was when Detroit was winning cups. Rybacher is going to help Montreal win that first cup. And as Filterless Bear mentioned, Rybacher is a huge upgrade on Carrier. I don't know about that, but he's more suited for playoff hockey, I think. Carrier, poor guy, is not going to be anything left of him. Put him through another playoff. Rhino will perform better in the NHL. Mark, I believe the same thing. I think he'll be even better in the NHL than the AHL. And I think he's been fine in the AHL. Leadership is classified as being demonstrated and implemented from the top down. The organization is setting itself up for years. Stay the course. We need a Pierre Bouchard or Rick Chartrand type player. Any updates on LJ Mooney? And yeah, well, Surf, tomorrow is Prospect of the Week day. I do it on Sundays with Rick. Tomorrow, my friend, we'll be doing a good show on regarding that. There hasn't been much. LJ scored a goal last night. Cornwall got another win, I think. I'm gonna try to get on coach from Cornell, see if we can get Cornwall on here, or get the coach on, talk about him. I can tolerate the snow, not the cold. Christ, you can tolerate anything, sir. Score prediction: 14-3. Do you expect fights similar to our last war with the Bruins? Maybe Jackeye and the big guy go at it again. Slav is blossoming into a leader. Absolutely. You notice there, folks, I've got the Logs End logo in the corner here. Permanent fixture. Here's an even larger. www.logsend.com. Reclaimed wide plank flooring. Logs End. They take logs on the bottom of the Ottawa River, turn them into beautiful, beautiful pine flooring. But they also have oak, birch, you name it, lots of hardwoods. You can't beat the quality of their flooring. And you know who seconds that? This fella right here. 10-time NHL Stanley Cup winner. Montreal Canadiens legend Yvan Cournoyer. He bought all of his flooring at Logs End. And when Liam and I had him on a month back, I asked him about it, and he said, absolutely great folks to work with, and couldn't be happier with the flooring. So if it's good enough for Yvan, folks, it's good enough for you. Logsend.com. Go to the website, check it out. If you do get a quote from them, tell them that Grant sent you from HabsCast. They'll look after you. The cold stays a little longer, we could host an outdoor game in Nashville. Yeah, really, eh? Yeah. Laine will be activated before March 6th. There's no doubt about it. They gotta play him. First for themselves, but mostly for just to show people that he's still, like, he's capable of playing. Like, if Laine comes in and scores, like he did to start last year, that only helps the team, whether they keep him or not. I mean, if he scores 10 goals and 10 power play goals in 10 games, the Habs will want to keep him. If he scores a bunch of goals and they still say, well, no, we just don't have a spot for him, that's attractive to other teams. You can actually get something back for him, not just have to throw in a first-round pick or something to get rid of the contract. So you can't keep a 35-goal scorer making $8.5 million. You can't not activate him when he's healthy. He'll be activated. He'll be in the lineup. We'll see, and we'll see how he looks. I don't presume anything. He could look fine. He could suck. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, that's right. I got it. But that's not Yvan, though, Mark. Engstrom will give them more, but I'd like for Struble to be the one moved. I think they might both get moved, to be honest with you. We'll see. Engstrom, someone remember Mark Straight? Doing a great job, Grant. Go House, go. Thank you. We're lucky to have Texier and Jack Eye. The X Factors, eh? I'll check out the prospect show. Thank you, Grant. Good. Probably be early afternoon. All the NFL games are on, eh? We'll try to get it up by noon or soon after. Glenn's heading her out. Okay. Oh, you're spelling roll with two L's now. Good man, Glenn. Be good. Oh, you better check in tonight. None of this possibly stuff. Everyone's saying trade Rybacher. No. Everyone am I included in the everyone? Because I'm not saying it. All these people, everyone's, not everyone on here, Patrick. Patrick the Taxman. That's a new name. Thanks, Patrick. And I agree with what you're saying. There's no cap space. Well, first of all, they aren't doing it. Second of all, there's no cap space. Third of all, they only picked up their top two right defensemen from Montreal. Future one in Mayu. They're not going to get friggin' trade for another one in Rybacher. It doesn't make sense for them. Doesn't make sense for the Habs. Would have loved Stamkos. Imagine Slav Suzuki, Stamkos, Cole, Cappy Demi. Yeah. Get Hockey Junkie on by. You're filterless, eh, Bear? $2 from Francois. All right. Double toonie action happening here. The money's starting to come in, folks. I'm a happy man. You know that money makes me happy, right? I got to go to Costco and get some more beer. So the more toonies are in there, the better chance that I can actually buy a 60-pack. I don't know. It's a little, bank account's a little slimmer right now. I come down to 2 beer. I'm gonna have to. I've got some Keys there. I might have to drink Keys for a week here till I can punch up the cash for another 60-pack at Costco of Canadian. Late to the dance. Don't get the notifications for the cast. Why do you not? There's a notify button. If you hit that, my friend, you should get notifications. I'd like to change the lineup for tonight, but why the snub for Dobish? Yeah, well, I never talked about that, Chris. Okay, maybe I did. Daniel, thank you very much for the contribution, Daniel. We're up over the $5 mark now. That's always good. Appreciate it. At the very least, I can go to Chuck's for a single. Thank you. We all have opinions, but I especially value yours because you're a great experience at Smarts. Yeah, well, there's some pretty smart cookies on here, including VDAC. Laine, Evans, Struble, maybe a first or second for Stamkos, McCarron, lower pick, or prospect back. Well, they'd have to fall out of the race. I don't know that would appeal to Trotz, but we need Aurel Joliet and Nuzi Lalonde type players. Bobby Lee, there's a new name. Yeah, need another 5-6 in Aurel Joliet. As long as there's no rugs out there for him to trip over. No red carpet. Man, that I felt for him. Made me laugh and cringe at the same time when they doffed his cap anyway. I loved Aurel Joliet was quite a cat. He lived in Ottawa in his later years, and Liam used to go have court with him, courts at the Prescott Hotel in Ottawa. Any of you that live in Ottawa would know what tavern I'm talking about, the Prescott. Very famous tavern in Little Italy in Ottawa. Best meatball sandwich in the city. Hughes stated in his interviews with Athletic that he was not interested in short-term help. Looking for hockey trades that fit the expected window. There you go. What if Laine comes back and smokes? Well, what if?
Voilà Patrick Laine, une belle incursion vers Goulet. Et dans la
It'll come back to Hudson across. Another. It's just a little late getting there, and you see a bit of a deflection. This has been his spot. Talk about an impact that he's had off the end.
Well, here's Laine the other way. Patrick Laine cruising in, drops it off. New look in front, across, score!
To Hudson. Hudson back to Suzuki. And winds down. You don't get enough of an opportunity with the 5-on.
Hudson. Laine, there it is. Scores.
Did it right in half.
That's 3 goals deflected.
Yeah.
Slavkovski à Suzuki maintenant. Et voilà! Supérieur Pierre, regardez tout l'espace de réception. Tout le monde est attiré du même côté. Newconen n'est peu. Hudson vers Suzuki. Tire de là! Avec tout le temps voulu de Suzuki avec la passe. Il reste encore 38 secondes à la pénalité à top. Est-ce qu'il y a encore un doute sur son arme de prix? Une fois de plus, cette fois-ci par contre.
By Hudson, Suzuki. Laine! Shooter number 1. In on Dostal.
Broken stick on the ice. And they score! He can't extend his stick and pressure Laine like Patrick Laine. If he gets this much time, I mean, look at that shot. Just
You notice the guy defending against him there with no stick, Alex Carrier. I don't know. It's easy to remember sometimes he's not back checking, he's not skating very fast, but I don't know. That would be handy to have on the second power play, folks, or even the first power play. Put Demidov down and get that second power play going. Either way, he helps the power play. And as Chris is saying here, power play 2, 1 goal all year, as I mentioned. And yeah, it would just for having Galley off of the first power play, having Laine in just for that. Caulfield, Hudson are 5'8", easily marginalized when physicality picks up. Is this Brian Burke? Yeah, I don't know about that, Wade. Caulfield ++ for Parayko and Thomas. Yeah. I don't agree that they're easily marginalized. Caulfield was quite good when the Canadians, as a rookie, when the Canadians made the NHL finals. And Hudson's not 5'8" either. By the way, he's 5'10". I stood right beside him. Got a picture with him. I'm 5'9", and he is taller than me. So Rybacher needs to stay. Absolutely. Absolutely, he needs to stay. There's zero doubt about that. I'm just looking for a picture that I had. Okay. I got it somewhere, but got Rob Hudson to take a picture of Laine and I together at the gold medal game last year, watching his little bro beat Finland for the gold medal. Habs don't trade anyone, stay the course. Well, I think they'll trade guys. They might be just sellers, maybe more than anything, just so that they can make roster room, right? Get rid of a couple of contracts. I have no interest in seeing any of our top prospects being traded, just stating what I believe the cost would be for a player like Thomas. It's already been stated that it's going to cost an arm and a leg. Should Arbor play on power play 2, dump the puck in the corner, have him go boom, get it, dish it off, park in front of the net like Big Z, blind the goalie enough slingshot to go back to basics. I think maybe your favorite Laine should be on the power play. If you just watch that video. Yeah. Oh, no, I don't mind repeating myself. Dovish is still a rookie and has a winning record. As he matures and gets more experience, he could be even better. Does McCarron ever get called Big Mike? Or is that reserved only for Michelle Obama? Okay, watch it there, buddy. He's probably called Big Mac. Don't tell me you're a Trumper. Trumpers not apply. Sorry. Yeah. What a mashup of Laine. Let's go. Best smoked meat is still in Montreal. If we meet in Ottawa this year, I can see if my opinion is right. Smoked meat. I never said anything about smoked meat. I was talking about meatball sandwich. Yeah. Well, yeah, best smoked meats in Montreal. Of course it is. Five-year deal. Buffalo won 5-0. Yeah, oh well. NHL Edge. Russ Wall, you're looking in Wikipedia here today. Dawson best shot this year is 89. Hudson 86. Jack-Eye 95. Yeah. Struble 85. Matheson 97. Caddy 85. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm not surprised that Matheson and Jack-Eye have the hardest shots. Nice if they got the odd one on the net, too. It doesn't really matter if you got a hard shot if it hits the freaking board, so. 6 days, 3 matches. Yeah, matching Laine in the AHL. There'd be goalies that calling in sick with the Laine flu. All right, folks. I think we'll wrap this up. I have to try to make sure that I was putting a little too much time in there, getting burnt out. So gonna have to cut back a little bit on the length of these. The Blues have stated that they don't have interest in letting Thomas go, but if they did, the offer would have to blow them out of the water. Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Scott. There's a new name in here. Yeah, I wasn't saying that exactly, but that's what I read, and yeah, that's the deal. Just want to check on the 3-3. Well, defensemen are scoring tonight. Willie Trudeau with a goal. It's now 3-3. I might have to catch the end of that. Wouldn't mind catching the end of that match. Tyler Thorpe with a couple of roughing calls today. I'd like to see Tyler picking up his physicality. Line A cap and then Demi. Yeah, that might work as a line, eh? Thanks, Surf. I appreciate that sentiment. All right. No more cash coming in here. You got 1 minute. I'm packing my bags here. Getting ready to I think I'll be in the dungeon tonight. I told the young lad that I was doing the show. He'll be back home, but Saturday night, special night, right? Hockey night in Canada. I'll see you, Grant, and the regulars and newcomers after the game tonight. Yeah. Hey, we had a good crew out here. Please hit the like button. I'd really appreciate that. We've had quite a few people. I'm just going to double check here. But I would imagine we've got, might have got close to 1,000 people come on here and watch part of it at least. Let's just see. 819. That's not bad. I don't mind those numbers at all. As far as likes go, what have we had? $47 likes. Okay. Back to about 5%. Hit the like button. Oh, just went up to 47. Here, if I press it there, it's up to 48. Okay. Got to hit that like button, folks. I really appreciate it. Good stuff. I'll just read the last few comments here if there's any. I don't like any politicians. Good. I don't like sexist comments, so if you don't mind, or racist or whatever, like, that wasn't a nice thing to say. Just so you know. The Blues have stated they don't have interest in letting go, but if they did the offer, they would have blow them out of the water. There you go. Scoy George, see you after the game, buddy. Yeah, same to you. Craig Berube had a major injury to his head, said he had it at the gym. Yeah, it did. He looked pretty, it looked worse for wear there, didn't he? That injury that he had. And won the back in the game. Took a hit to the head and won't be back in the game. Is that what you're trying to say? Okay. Well, not going to rush to go see Rybacher now then. That was my main MO, to go see him. Took a hit in the head. Oh, and they'll be out. Oh, injury prone. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Stay away from social media for the next few hours because it'll be toxic as usual. He'll be fine. He's got that hard Austrian head there. They're just being precautionary, I imagine. Letting them get overripe. I don't read social media. Well, I kind of have no choice. I have to kind of read it. I have to post. And I see the odd comment. Can't help it. All right, folks. Long enough. Thank you very much. No more revenue stream came in, so we're going to say good day. And right after the game, I'll try to be on within 5 minutes after the game. Sometimes it takes me up to 10, but if I'm working on a thumbnail and have to get all the stats, but hopefully 5 within 5 minutes of the end of the game, I'll be on, and please join me. And thanks for the great crowd on a Saturday afternoon. Good numbers, and we'll see you tonight after Habs once again beat the Boston Bruins. Okay, bye for now, folks.